What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Simple Cuts 802 on this Wednesday, May the 20th. That's right, May is almost out of here, and you are joining me with a quick, I would call this brush job. A bunch of little trees that are trying to grow up and underbrush up under this little area has not been taken care of in quite some time, and I'm gonna bring you all along with me as I get it spiffed back up and looking pretty good. So sit back, enjoy the video. Thank you for tuning in again to Simple Cuts 802. I am your host Simon, and we'll kick this video off here shortly. So here we go. Here's something that we all have dealt with, myself very frequently here in the season as it has been progressing, and that is repairs. Something that I noticed as I was doing a lot of homework with the problems that I was facing on my equipment is how much you can find out about very similar, if not the exact same problems through being connected through a Facebook group with dealing with your mowers. Granted, this can go for anything, but I'm just going to keep it right here on the lawn care side of things. There are several Facebook groups out there that actually deal with diagnosing, helping, and giving advice when it comes to your equipment. I am a Skag person when it comes to the mower side of things, and I also have Husqvarna, Stihl, Red Max, DeWalt as other tools that I use. But I notice sometimes when I'm Googling an issue that I'm dealing with my Skag mowers, a Facebook group would pop up. It's like a Skag Nation or somewhere in that line. It deals with a bunch of people talking about and discussing issues with their equipment. And a lot of that stuff is common things that always break or fail on your mowers. And you can read the comments if you have the time, or even your particular issue may pop up once you type the question in, and you can get an answer. That just goes back to something I always say and piggyback off of on my channel. There's so much knowledge and free knowledge on the internet, especially YouTube, that you can use to self-diagnose and solve problems with your equipment. A lot of my problems, some of them I can deal with. I can manage dealing with and getting the problem resolved. Others, I send them to somebody else who can do them a little bit better than me or who have a better understanding. But you always have what I'll say a blueprint and some type of advice that you can follow by using the internet, YouTube, Facebook, whatever the case may be, to get some problems resolved yourself. So networking and just being on top of being, if you're computer and tech savvy, trying to better help diagnose and fix problems on your own to save some money. Leads me right into the next topic of having equipment that is prepared to go. I'm going to be the first one to admit I truly slacked off when it became time for this 2025 season leading into the 2026 season preventative maintenance. As you've seen on all of my videos and my shorts, and if you follow me on Instagram, I had problem after problem with the Liberty Z and problem after problem with the Tiger Cat. The Tiger Cat being the one who had the most problems. So here's my takeaway from that. Take time to make sure your equipment is ready to go to a job site. Make sure, even if things seem like they're running smooth, all it takes is the right thing to happen at the wrong time, and now you're in an equipment dilemma. Make sure your equipment is job ready. And let me break this down. Hopefully I can do it in a short amount of time, but let me see if I can say it like this. If you're starting out, it's very understandable that you may not have, top of the line equipment. Everybody has to start out with what they can and work their way up. If you have that as your situation, making sure that even what you have, if it's not brand new, just make sure it's working. Make sure you get jobs that can be done with said equipment. Let's just say now you've made it to the next step where you can afford to get something bigger and can get you in and out of properties in a timely manner. Well, making sure that that is always operational is key. Brand new equipment fails, used equipment fails, everything fails. But sometimes, and I'm going to have to pop my own self on the hand, we get caught up in the hustle and bustle, and then sometimes we get lazy, like myself, over the winter months when things are slow, and don't look at our equipment. Our equipment can't turn a tool on its own. Our equipment can't diagnose itself, but our equipment can fail us at the wrong time. So taking preventative measures, making sure things are in order on your equipment, whether if, like I said, you have used equipment, brand new equipment, your equipment is only as strong as you make it. If you let things just keep, going, I'll fix it later, I'll check it later. When later comes, it's going to be at a critical time. You're going to be on a property, you're going to be on a job that's going to be very profitable. And if you can't perform, you may have an understanding client or you may not have an understanding client. But you want to make sure that when you show up, you're ready to perform. As soon as you hit the ignition switch on that lawnmower, as soon as you pull a rope on those small pieces of equipment, you want to make sure that you have the green light. You get in, you get things done, you get your payment, and you move on to the next yard. So preventative maintenance, make that a key when you go into business. Make sure that maintenance in the beginning doesn't cost you in the middle of your season or can't get you to the end of your season. Another thing to discuss is making sure that, as you can see so much dust in this video here, it's dry. My area has been in a drought and the rain chances are increasing for the rest of May leading through the Memorial Day weekend. Over the course of the next 7 days per the weatherman, we have chances for rain on and off, those pop-up summertime rain showers. But here's a thing that I heard on another channel, and I just want to bring it to mind because you may not follow this particular YouTuber. Adjusting to the current conditions, the drought. There are some places that have not seen measurable rain in quite some time, and the yards aren't growing. And I'm one of those areas that is experiencing that. And what this person brought to the attention is being true in lawn care to keep yourself busy, you're going to have to adjust. And he mentioned making sure you adjust your deck height to a position, a height that will keep the grass from, number one, not being burnt from being cut too low, but two, where the grass can grow from what little moisture it does get, you can continue to go out and mow these properties. So for example, if you cut a property on 2 inches every time you go, when the conditions are right, it's raining, the grass is growing. Right now, while it's dry, let's just say the grass is trying to grow with whatever little moisture it can find. However, it's not growing enough. How about taking your deck and raising it up the next notch or 2 notches? That way, you're not, for one, exposing this grass to extreme sunlight and burning it, and two, you're giving it an opportunity to actually grow so you can continue to come out and service that property. Granted, it may get to the point to where it stops completely growing, and that is worst case scenario. But at least if it has some type of condition to where it's trying to grow, it's trying to, keep you a little busy, that you can go out here and adjust things. That way you can show up and still make some type of profit. Me personally, if it doesn't need to be cut, I've already had to skip some this season. I just can't go out and cut dust and sand. It's ruining my blade. Blades aren't cheap and it's eating away at the decks. And I'd rather just skip it for a week or two, hoping that we get some rain, because 99.9% of my properties are not even sprinkled. So I have to either skip and or just hope that it rains to make that grass grow. But I hope that's a good tip that will help you out and make you think about it and will keep you busy. And here's one more thing I want to talk about, because it's something I hear frequently throughout the YouTube space from the channels that I follow, is route consolidation. That is one of the biggest keys that I hear on channels frequently. Some channels repeat it in just about every video they post. And there's an old saying that says, I behoove you to jot this note down. I'm guilty of not having a consolidated route. When I first started in lawn care 6 years ago, I was going after what I can get. And a lot of my customers have remained with me since day one. I have tried to advertise in other neighborhoods to get closer to home. My first routes consisted of this. I had a very far out route, I had a midway route to my home, and then I had a home-based route. Everything that circled my home within a 5 or 10 minute drive. And that's how I ran my lawn care business. I was at one point only doing lawn care when I was in transition between both of my careers. And lawn care was my way of making money at the time. I have been fortunate enough to go back to one of my careers as full-time. That way, what I'm not making in lawn care, at least I'm having some type of full-time benefits and income coming in, because you still have to make income to get by. That's just the bottom line. So I salute those who only do lawn care as their way of income. And consolidating your route, the great point of it is you're not driving and staying behind the windshield forever. You're in and out of your vehicle at a steady pace in a certain square mile radius, with all of your clients pretty much stacked around one another. Yeah, you may have an odd job or two that's outside of your consolidated route, and that's understandable. But when they talk about it, the better you can get your route and your homes that you service in a tight area, that's more profit that you're keeping in your pocket. That's a little bit more, less wear and tear on your vehicles, and it really just pays off in the long run. For myself, right now, I just have to keep things going the way they're going. Like I said, when I work full time, I'm in town where the majority of some of my original people are actually at. So when I get off shift, I can easily go left or right and be right down the street from where I originally picked up clients. So that's one thing about making sure your route is consolidated. If you're starting out, it's easier said than done, but hard work and effort, you can get it. And it'll be a little bit easier on your pockets. Granted, nobody is enjoying these gas prices, I would say, at all. The average person is looking at gas prices and saying, what the hell, every time they pass a gas station. Filling up a vehicle, filling up equipment, filling up small gas cans, all of that stuff adds up. But if you consolidate your route, have it tight, when you do have to make a trip to your gas station, especially if it's a close local gas station, you can probably see just a little bit of a difference in gas usage and gas expenses versus being someone like me who has to go from my far point out to a midway point into my home base. So hopefully you take something away from that, learning consolidation. Making sure you earn your time's worth of income is also important. I look at some of the lawns that I service, and some yards I just can't see myself raising the price on because the yard is just no hassle. It hasn't changed. The customer is loyal and payments are on time. But the thing now with my business is new customers that take me on, you either going to accept the prices that I give you or you're going to see my tail lights. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it when it comes to making sure you earn your keep. I have already been ripped off. I have already underbid some jobs and did them. I looked at myself in the mirror like, man, you have to make sure you are comfortable earning what you're earning. For example, the average yard I start off with now, I still have some yards that are 65 and up, but now my prices have gone up across the board an extra $5 or $10 depending on the size of the property, obstacles, etc. All of that plays a factor. But I don't want to pull up to a property now saying I'm not making enough money for the time that I'm on this property. You have to be smart and be sure you do your homework and research on this property that you're possibly going to take on and make sure it's beneficial to your pockets. Don't go out here and charge $40 for a yard you know good and well is worth $80. Been there, done that. I had a corner lot I was charging $40 for years ago. I was fired by this customer when I told them the price increase. $40 for a corner lot that took me over an hour to do. Lesson learned. Don't be afraid to lose jobs just because somebody doesn't want to pay you your value. This is your business. You have to run it your way. And last but not least, this is probably the part that I'll probably get the most listened to. This is probably going to be one of my last long form videos for YouTube. Just like, and shout out to my brother Joe Cutter from his channel Cutter Squad Lawn Care. YouTube is starting to get to the point to where it's hard to want to continue to do it in long-term videos in my side of the story. It takes time to shoot these videos. It takes time to edit. It takes time to go out here on these properties trying to show you the ins and outs, our opinions of pros and cons on lawn care, and to watch other channels who are smaller get more views and interactions, and looking at these larger channels who are also getting a lot of views and interactions, and some of the larger channels can't even take the time to give feedback or respond to you. It kind of makes me feel a type of way. I know you're not supposed to compare yourself because comparison is one of the greatest thieves of joy, but I work hard with these videos. I work hard being a solo operator. I work hard to bring you content such as what you've watched here, me transforming this whole area. And for nobody to really even want a thumbs up or give some type of positive feedback, and this not just for myself, I see it across the board with a lot of channels. Smaller channels and bigger channels are winning. People in the middle like myself just can't get traction, can't get the rubber on the road. So I'm saying all this to say I'm going to enjoy doing the shorts. I get a lot of interactions and views on those. But for the time it takes to do these long videos, for the time it takes to edit these videos, this is probably going to be one of my last ones. I do have an unboxing video that I want to bring to the channel, but everything else may just turn into shorts. And that's just probably how I'm going to operate for a while, maybe until this season is over. Again, I enjoy and respect those who are loyal and give feedback on my channel to every video that I post. But it's time for me to look out for myself and my sanity. I'm no longer enjoying doing these long videos because of me losing time on these properties just to get a little bit of feedback and responses, to me, I've lost thinking it's worth it. So let me know how you feel. For those who made it this far, this is Simple Cuts 802 checking out of here. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend and be safe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.